Hello everyone, welcome back to Gelvin Valley. We're in the middle of cultivating the fields here to get them ready for planting and having a wonderful time doing it. I'm all the more thankful that I cleared out some of the edges of all these fields and hoping, this tractor is barely powerful enough, so it appears, to handle the load up the hill. I had tried to set the GPS so that it was a little across the hill. Evidently didn't do a good enough job at it. Last episode, of course, I managed to get all the logs hauled and get payment for those and installed a sawmill, and actually it's right up on the, I guess it's up here, we can't see it, on the other side of the building there. So happy about that. And in the meantime, of course, I've crushed the log or wood chip market, so not able to, my goodness, this is slow. Won't be able to sell some for a while, but that is all right. Yeah, I missed this spot. Oh, it's gonna do the same thing again. Oh, my cats. Maybe I shouldn't worry about it. The thing that is I'm a little stubborn and I like to have all of the field cultivated. Let me see if I can back up and try to take that out. There we go. Alright, that's close enough for government work. Still have a little kind of around the edges, but that's alright. And here, of course, I can see all the places that I missed when I was fertilizing. And yeah, I leased this bad boy for 5 hours, so we'll see if that's long enough. It hopefully should be more than enough to do all this, but I don't know if this thing is gonna groan every time we head uphill, and it may take longer than I think, and I maybe just need to be a little more strategic on how I pull the hills or not. I can see that. Nope, still can't really see. I actually set up 2 buildings up there, a pelletizer and the sawmill. So after I get all the fields cultivated, I think I plan on planting them. I don't know if I'll be able to do all that in the same day. I'm still trying to figure out what I should plant. I've basically destroyed the market on just about everything. So I kind of think the single commodity approach isn't too bad, as long as I don't do it 2 years in a row, of course, which I did kind of the first years. So maybe this go around, since I have, wheat is probably almost ready to where I could do it again. But I maybe need to try corn or something else to give it a go. Just to move with the market as best I can. So planting, I've already done the fertilizing. With a little luck, I'll be able to do it all by the end of today and have it wrapped up in this, not this episode, of course, but within this day, so I can get the crops growing and producing. And since I'm on fast growth, it probably means tomorrow, if all goes well, it could be harvesting again. But I may take a little time. I still need to go clean up the areas, where I took out all the logs, and really would need to replant. It'd probably be the best thing to do is just go ahead and do it, and it just sits there, and if I wait That was some really good money. So I think back on it now, it was 360,000-ish all told by the time I got it in there. And next time, my hope is I can harvest a little bit, haul the logs kind of up here, have it turned into board pallets, and maybe do it a little more over time instead of just having a big harvest. After seeing what it did to my FPS, that's kind of instructive on just how puny my computer truly is. So we need to act accordingly. Get this around. And of course, I didn't mention this, but to give credit where credit is due, the map was created for Farm Sim 15 by Wild Wes, and actually he had a version of it for 13, which is the version I played on first, my boys and me. But I think with the extra features and everything that Farm Sim 15 brought, I definitely like it better on Farm Sim 15. Along with all the little changes we've made. Oh, there's another batch of weeds. We're going to see that. I know I mentioned that last time. Added a little extra Lua coating so it would start taking out the weeds through cultivating or plowing. So we're going to get our fields all cleaned up this go around. Isn't quite the same as having the season, or not the seasons mod, soil mod, which, this was set up for back in the day, but we haven't used that, but what do you know, we're going to be getting rid of weeds anyways. Different kind of weeds, and frankly, I don't even know that the soil mod would have got rid of those anyhow. Maybe they would have. So we're going to be at this for a while. I turned off the digging of rocks this go around. Okay, here comes the patch. Let me see it go bye-bye. Oh, that's so satisfying. And like I say, it should keep it that way. And I almost wonder if I need to come in here and touch up the fertilization. And I think in the fields after this, I started doing a loop around the fields first to help fill that all in. Anyway, probably in real life, unless you're using some kind of GPS precision when chemicals and fertilizer are applied, there's probably skip areas too, so maybe we'll just leave them. Turn around here. So the past couple episodes, the topic of discussion and my ramblings and what have you has been has been on Christmas traditions. And even as I record this, it's after Christmas now. Right, actually, it's literally New Year's Day as I'm recording this. But I'm still interested if people are willing to share what their Christmas traditions are. I know everybody has them. Even if they say they abhor tradition, all I've ever consider that meant is they abhorred someone else's tradition in favor of their own. So I had talked about traditions in my family, immediate family, extended family, things we did at our church, and one other area I thought I would cover just for kicks and giggles is in the workplace. I know I've mentioned it before, I'm an accountant in my day job, and I'm one of the owners of a little firm here in the area where we live. When I say little, we have maybe 30 people total that work for us. So about that, it's a good group of people. We're each here able to take on, entry-level folks and hopefully provide a place, where they can grow and in their career. And along the way, of course, with all that and running a business, the fine art of figuring out how to motivate people or to keep them happy, and even for the sake of tradition, every company you work at has a certain pulse, a certain thing that makes it special or unique or not, and something that keeps people interested in working there. So we have a number of traditions through the year, and a number of them, right around Christmas, of course. So in terms of the time or whatever, one of the things we offer employees is family is important, family time. So Christmas Eve, we close our office at noon, so folks can go home and be with their families. That's something we've always offered. And of course, the day itself, everybody can take off. Nobody should be in the office. I would be really disappointed and honestly upset if someone decided they needed to work Christmas Day, because I know I never have. We take half the day off before, also half the day before, before New Year's, so New Year's Eve. So sometimes what people will do is they'll take a whole day off, and then work one of the days before. We have a white elephant gift exchange with our employees. We take some time for that. It's kind of by sign up. Not everybody, you don't have to participate if you don't want to. But that's always kind of fun to get something random and then have a good old holiday fight, if you will. Swapping gifts and all that kind of thing. Alright, we got this done. Let's head on out of here. We have a cookie day. That's probably one of my favorites, actually, where everybody makes homemade cookies. Some of us, multiple batches, and it's kind of a contest. We all vote on which ones are the best, with several categories, taste being one, and presentation another one, or how good it looks, and that's always fun. I've never won, no matter how hard I've tried, but that's all right. I enjoy doing that. I think cookies is one of my food groups. Alright, where are we headed to next? I think we're going to go up the hill to 22. Yeah, that's what we'll do. When this gets moving, he knows how to move. So off we go. By the forest where we cut it all down. Oh, now we're in the guy wire of the power poles. The ladies in the front office do an awesome job decorating. We don't have a tree. We never really have brought a tree in. Maybe some year we'll do that. But wreaths, we do get a real wreath and put it on the door, and it eventually makes the whole office, smell kind of like fir boughs or whatever that thing is made out of. And it just looks nice. We had a client this year, a nursery client. They're just awesome people. They all of a sudden show up, week before Christmas, 2 weeks, whatever it was, and they gave us a boatload of poinsettias. And when I say a boatload, we must have had 50 of them. I kid you not. And we just put them all around the office. Some of us took them home, and so those have beautified the office too. and it's just hauling. Oh man, do I have an error popping? No, it's just a facial tick of the game, I guess. And maybe the reason I enjoy it so much is, we only do it one time a year, these kinds of decorations, which is what makes it special, maybe. But I would love it if that wreath, stuck around for the whole year. Of course it won't. But it is what it is. All right, climbing the hill up here to 22, almost to the gate. We always have a Christmas party for our staff. This year we catered it at I don't even know what kind of a place to call it. Someone has, I think it was a farm, and on that farm, seeing Old MacDonald, and on that farm they had a little barn that was just big enough to hold all of our people, or all those who could come, and their spouses, significant others, so we gave them a good meal, and gifts too. We try to give our staff gifts each year. It's usually the same thing for everybody. This particular year was coats, monogrammed coats with the company insignia on it, company merch, as it were. And let's see here. Alright, I've teared out weed patches, folks. Hopefully everybody's noticing all the weeds are... Oh, I need to turn off my indicators. Alright, get on up this hill, dude. You can do it. Oh man, I'm too far over. Yeah, maybe should have rented the beefier tractor. This is definitely taking a little time getting up the hill, but I don't know. I'm trying to remember the last time I cultivated. It might have taken this long too. It's actually been a little while since I've run the cultivator proper over it. I know I've used the roller a time or two, which puts down the same texture. And speaking of that, I'll maybe save that for the moment. Let me get through my little topic here. Yeah, so this year we gave them all coats, and it's interesting coats. These are, I can't say they're really the style of coat I would wear mostly, but it's an example of engineering that's kind of cool. I don't know how they make coats like this. They're very lightweight, but it's incredibly warm. There we go. Take out the bushes too. And it's got some special material in them. I don't know what it is. That just they just keep you warm. They're just excellent to outweigh, and they're not very heavy, so they're good stuff. Get down around here. For some reason, this one is harder to take around the edges than the other ones. Maybe because it's longer. Wider rather. Taking out the bushes. Around this tree, it's kind of hard to see. Am I getting all the way up to the edge? I'm not. Oops. Left and back up. Get every square inch. Yeah, now I'm going downhill, so it's a little bit easier. Tear out another weed patch. I just love watching the weeds go, even though they have nothing to do with how our crops turn out. Now let me see, how can I... It's almost like I need to Is that still headed uphill? Not too bad. Okay, so maybe let me set it up here. Back up. There's a risk of doing it at an angle too. Yeah, I think I am still headed uphill just slightly. It'll be good enough. We'll try it this way this time. Now I need to go back and get the bottom one. Yeah, just when you come in and when you only go around once. Maybe what I should be doing is just going around and around. I don't know. What else do we do? Gifts. Oh yeah, for our clients, there's a fine art in this too. You know, it's sometimes with a business there may be certain activities. Oh, there's a bale down here. I keep forgetting. It's a wonder it hasn't rotted. But businesses exist to make money, and as a byproduct, they provide jobs to people, but really, oh, for goodness sakes, but really, the reason, of course, that you have them is to make the owners of them money, in real simplistic terms. So a lot of times, the decisions that a business makes, that is what drives it. What decisions do I need to make that are going to make me money? So ours is very personnel dependent, people dependent. It's an intelligence field, if you will, based on what people do, as opposed to a manufacturing type of a product. So obviously our people is our largest expense. So, anything we do to try to motivate and help our people succeed in their career is what helps the firm make money. So that's obviously a lot of, some of these other things that I mentioned, with the Christmas party and all that. But another huge part of it also is customers. No customers, you don't have a business, even though you may have the finest product that ever was created. If you are unable to sell it or people aren't willing to buy it, then it's kind of all for naught. Lift. So some customers, and there's this is a whole topic in its own right. I can't remember if I've talked about it before. There's books, written on the subject of how to evaluate your customers and so forth. Matrices, you can put them in, the A list, B list, C list, D list, whatever. But suffice it to say, the best customers you can have are those, they're not complainers. They pay your bill on time. They're maybe good at what they do, and they appreciate what we do, what we bring to the table to help them with. So in other words, they are willing to pay for it. It's amazing how cheap all of us can be. I'm going to put myself in that. I would admit, I'm not sure I'd want to pay my own bill either, but on the other hand, I wouldn't need to, because I don't need to pay someone for services I know how to do. But sometimes, there are admittedly some big bills that get sent out, and having clients who are willing to pay them, they don't complain about it, and they see value. Of course, some of it's incumbent upon us to explain the value of our services too. But those that are willing to pay and don't complain are awesome customers, and The best of the best, of course, aren't troublesome. They're flexible, and maybe it sounds almost kind of like I'm describing a unicorn. Every customer, just like any of our employees, is unique. So they're going to have their own particular issues, and we roll with the punches and work with them accordingly. Beautiful Gelvin Valley. Nice. Anyway, I see all that. What you want to do, of course, in business is take care of, just like you take care of your best people, you want to take care of your best customers and let them know that you appreciate them. So I know a lot of times this time of year, there's time spent on Christmas gifts and cards and outreach to them, to let them know how much we appreciate their business. They could take it somewhere else, and we appreciate that they come to our firm. And the reality is, too, not every customer is worth the same as someone else, and it almost seems mercenary, to say it in these terms, but it's true. When you have a customer who spends thousands and thousands of their money at your office, and then you have another customer who spends a couple $100, doing it. I'm not saying that the smaller customer is not valuable. Of course they still are. But the larger one, is the one, of course, that pays more of our bills and helps us pay for our people and those kinds of things. So it tends to be the larger of the clients that we have that we send gifts to. And some, of course, we send cards of appreciation. So I don't know, those are some of the things we do at our company, Christmas traditions, if you will. And I may have missed a couple. I don't know. But those were the ones that came to mind. I mentioned something earlier I was going to come back to. Oh, I remember what it was now. And this is an area of modding I've never delved into, and it's the soil textures. In Farming Sim, we have a choice of just a couple soil textures. The one we're doing right now, of course, is cultivating. So you see, this has a certain look. We know what plowing looks like. That also has a certain look. There's a texture for when the ground is planted. That has a certain look. And each of these textures have a double look too. If you put fertilizer down, it changes kind of the coloring of it, if you will. I think it's those three. Does that sound about right? I know there's texture like you see where we're cultivating out. There's chopped straw texture on there. There's the harvested look of a field. But really, the soil underneath, that's kind of a separate layer, if you will. I'm talking about the dirt. And it wouldn't be until later versions of Farming Sim, maybe Farm Sim 22. Someone can correct me on that. But I don't think we had it in Farm Sim 19, where you finally had different or additional rather textures for the dirt work. Because, I'll get that out of the way now. Obviously, if you take a roller over the ground, it's going to look different than if you take a cultivator over the ground. If you take a subsoiler or a deeper ripper, it's going to do something different to the soil than a plow. Here in Farm Sim 15, those are equivalent. A plow, a deeper ripper, chisel, or whatever, those all have the same texture. And something I've always wondered is how hard would it be to add those additional textures in here. And it's probably easier to add them than it would be to do the coding needed for the game changes, maybe, to know what to do with them, if you will. I'll get that out of the way down. Or maybe not. You know, for example, the game knows, unless you have some special Lua coding for it, the game knows that the planter can only plant into cultivated or plowed soil. If it's already planted, maybe if it's something different you have, it will plant over the top of it. But if it isn't reduced to soil, or go down. So that's what I mean. If you have new textures in there, like ran a roller, let's say you ran a roller over what we're traveling on right now. Right now, the roller that I've used, it does reduce it to dirt. It makes it look similar to the cultivated texture. But in real life, that isn't what it would do at all. One thought I would have for running a roller over this is maybe have it get rid of the chopped straw texture. I mean, that way you can at least see where you're going, and it would be doing something. But anyway, it's like I say, I've just never dabbled in that area of modding. I know there are some guys who made new soil textures, but I think it was just for the main game stuff already, so nothing new. So I'm probably not going to do anything with it either, but it is something I've thought about. And like I say, we wouldn't get it in game until later in the franchise. Anywho, I think I heard the bell ring, so thank you so much for coming and listening to me visit here a little bit while I play this wonderful game. Wes, thank you again for creating Gelvin Valley. I'm still enjoying it immensely. Bye-bye all. We'll see you in the next one.